Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And Scump and Formal discussing a big controversy within esports right now, suggesting how some of these tournaments should be formatted going forwards within esports in general, but also their suggestions for the Call of Duty League. Intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel, thank you very much indeed for that. Now, first of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to 1v1me for sponsoring today's content. If you're anything like me, you've had a really hard time the last couple of years finding a good site to actually play competitive matches on. Like, League play doesn't really cut it sometimes. Game battles, you have the issues with the admins and like premium members and stuff like this, and wages can be a bit of a nightmare with like fake proofing and all this type of stuff. 1v1me's come in and said, look, we're going to play games for cash, we're going to do it for free, and we're going to do it in a fair and just environment. It's super easy to get started. You download the app and get ready to go straight away. If you're playing for money, which you don't have to, but if you do want to, players have to stream their perspective, so you don't have to worry about the other guys doing anything dodgy. So I think a massive step up really in third-party providers for competitive games. You have to be 18 years or older and in the US if you want to play for money, but anyone can play for free. And if you want to get a free $1 wager, check out the first line link in the description box below. That's going to give the first 1,000 of you to click on it your first $1 wager on the platform completely for free. So check out 1v1me. Thanks for sponsoring today's video. Love what they're doing within the scene. It's been a difficult time finding good places to play competitive really the last couple of years. 1v1me are trying to do exactly that, so definitely give them a go. First topic today is this that Standy initially tweeted, for some reason deleted, which is a graphic really that came out from the CDL on that Stage 5 major, where Minnesota Rokkr won in a 5-4 thriller up against Toronto Ultra in that kind of ultra reverse sweep that we discussed. And apparently one person in the pick'ems predicted it correctly, and Attach and Standy were trying to figure out who that was. Apparently it was Antonio Candio, as you can see right here, predicted the bracket as 5-4 to the Minnesota Rokkr. For some reason it flips it right here. Only got 4 points for what a prediction that was, to be honest. All things considered right here, given the fact that even these two teams making the finals was a crazy pick to start with. And then, I mean, the 5-4 fashion for Rokkr to win is also ridiculous. Of course, I didn't get to predict the 0-4 comeback, I suppose. But, well, I mean, that would have been pretty much impossible, I would imagine, for anyone on planet Earth. So, of course, you know, Scump and Formal, pretty much all the OpTic guys as of late, they've been playing a fair bit of Valorant, right? Keeping up with the Valorant scene, seeing how things are going, and it seems to be a very entertaining off-season game, most certainly. But recently in the scene, there's been a lot of talk about, well, some of the issues that they're having with some of their tournaments. They've got this, like, last chance qualifier type tourney coming up. There's 10 teams in attendance, and it's kind of a similar way to the Call of Duty scene the last several months, really. We've seen some of these weird tourneys. Of course, we have 12 teams in the league. It can get kind of difficult to figure out at times, like, you know, how the tournaments, how the bracket systems should actually work. Now, this 10-team bracket is well, not pleasing a lot of the professional players. As it turns out, I'm pretty sure the two of the teams that were going to be starting in the lower bracket from the Oceania region now are no longer going to be able to attend this tournament anyway. But a lot of backlash really the last couple of days in the scene about a bracket that looks something like this. So this may remind you somewhat of this Call of Duty League bracket for the last season or so, where you've got a couple of matches right here, like you've got a bye in the upper side. 100 Thieves have this bye kind of in a very similar way. You can argue to how FaZe have had a lot of buys this season, and then you've got a lower bracket where if you lose this, you're straight out of the tournament immediately without even getting a chance. You basically have to win this last chance qualifier thing to make it to the World Championship. So therefore, if you start in the losers here, you're in a very difficult spot indeed. And well, a lot of reaction to this really from the pros, like Huke saying, yeah, definitely not a fan of this format. And well, this, as you can see right here, you've got Exit Order, FaZe Clan, and Luminosity. Definitely, well, if they lose, they're straight out of the tournament. This is very similar, of course, to what we've seen this past season really in the Call of Duty franchise. And as well, the OpTic Chicago boys, Scump and Formula especially, are talking about right here. Some people are kind of, well, at least it was implied that maybe Scump and Co were throwing shade on the league, right, given the fact that they had a very similar format this past season as well, but saying, yes, this format, this single elim idea sucks. It should not be the case at all. And well, they need to figure out a better way to do it next season in the CDL.
I guess this is a question for you pros, right? Valorant pros upset with the LCQ format being single elimination.
Yeah, not a fan of single elim either.
Huh?
I hate single elim.
Single elim sucks.
It's horrible. I just don't think.
And the one of the biggest gripes that people have with it is that they're flying oceanic teams all the way over for a literal one and done.
Really?
Yeah, like imagine you're flying to go play Octane S&D one and done.
Oh my god.
And if you lose it, you have to fly all the way back.
Yeah, that'd be horrible.
That would be horrible. But that's why
well, first of all, they get paid to fucking fly.
Yeah, but that's like torture at that point. You
Well,
fly 20 hours, you lose one match, you've been working all. You wouldn't understand. You're not a competitor.
The org would say.
You wouldn't understand. You're not a competitor. 20 hours flying. 20 hours flying all of the year of practice to go lose one map and then fly 20 hours back. That's literally torture.
Yeah, but you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, but you're arriving there. You're jet lagged. It's just torture. That's torture.
I just think the more that you play at an event, it shows how good your team is.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Seattle beat FaZe last year.
Yeah.
What the f was that? What if that was single limb? You know what I'm saying? Wait, was that single limb? Nah.
No,
Nah,
we
it
didn't have
wasn't.
any.
Not for
wasn't.
FaZe.
Yeah,
Seattle
it
was.
was.
Seattle
Well,
for
they
it,
were
yeah.
single limb the whole year.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that
What?
shit. That kind of just it just shows
no
you
shade.
like that does happen. Which
Good,
like
Nick.
it can happen any event, which is just like so. Because it's like
Yeah.
obviously FaZe is a better team than Seattle, you know.
Yeah,
But it's like how it
That's
go
why you
wrong
play
for
the
like
game
30
any given
minutes.
Sunday. But COD is not like other games.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like I don't know.
So
like
that's where it's
it's different. Like League of Legends, I could see being single limb because like whenever I watch League, when I used to at least, it's like the better team always won.
Or if they
like-
play like a best of 5 single limb, like if
Yeah,
you lose a
yeah,
best of
yeah.
5, that's like a
That's different.
potentially 5-hour series.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
different.
yeah.
That's different.
And like
So you get to
Valorant,
warm up.
yes.
Valorant,
Yeah.
you're playing a 35-minute map.
So as you can see, you've got a buy in the winners bracket on both sides here, 100 Thieves and version 1. Pretty sure version 1's the same ownership group that owns the Minnesota Rokkr, so interesting to see how everything kind of coalesces here. Chiefs in order, maybe not order, but Chiefs have definitely had a COD team for a time back in the day. Rose Nation as well, so Gen G, of course, doing Black Ops 4, so a lot of these organizations are definitely there or thereabouts, and maybe we'll come back into Call of Duty at some point or another. But this, of course, was the bracket that we saw at last year's World Championship in 2020, where all 12 teams were allowed to attend. And well, still, we see 4 teams right here down in the lower bracket, and some of these teams getting monster buys through the winners bracket, as you can see here with FaZe, not having to play all the way until, like, you know, the winners semi-final here on the 3rd day of the tournament, and same with Dallas Empire, when the playoffs was going on for the 2020 season. But this last season as well, we've seen honestly a very similar thing. This was the entire bracket for the 2021 bracket, and I mean, look, of course, some of the teams didn't even get to attend, the bottom 4 didn't get to go, but still, making it work with 8 teams, they decided, even though they could have done, like, I'm pretty sure what they're doing now for this Valorant tournament is because the 2 Oceania teams aren't going to be able to attend, the 2 Australian teams, Chiefs and Order, because I think they messed up, like, I don't know, the visas or something. I was kind of trying to look into it this morning. But what that means is only 8 teams are in attendance, so probably they're going to do, like, a straight up, like, 8-team double elimination type bracket where the first seed plays the 8th seed, and that's kind of how it goes. They could have done that this year. They decided not to, and decided to do this instead, right, with FaZe getting the bye, and well, Florida and Los Angeles Thieves starting in the lower bracket. This, of course, caused an awful lot of controversy, and Scump and Formula saying, like, look, this should never be the case. Single elimination in any case is absolutely tragic, and it means that even if you're the better team, for example, like, you can just lose a match like this. He was kind of suggesting that in League of Legends, for example, best of ones may make it, you know, slightly more sense, or single elimination may make more sense, because if it's a best of 3 or best of 5 even in League of Legends, like, that's a massive series, and therefore, like, the best team is probably going to win. So single elimination has worked in Call of Duty, you can argue, in the past. Like, let's say Black Ops 3, the stage playoffs, like a stage 1, stage 2 playoffs back in Black Ops 3, they were done as best of 7 at single elimination, which, you know, it definitely had its controversy at the time, and even today I definitely prefer best of 5 double elimination, but still, maybe in the longer series it can make sense, but still, in a short series of best of 5 only, where the matches don't really take too long, it can be over in 45 minutes if you get absolutely blasted off the face of the earth, and I mean, yeah, maybe you come out slow or whatever because you're in the lowers bracket and you're playing a team that's just come off a match and they've played in the winners bracket, and for so many reasons it was so hard on Florida and Los Angeles Thieves, I think both right here, starting in lowers in the losers bracket. Like, you know, it's almost hard to wonder why they were even at the tournament in the first place if you're going to start in losers at all, and that's kind of a similar question that the Valorant pros were asking, and the reason why Scump and Go definitely think that should not be the case next year. Of course, Crim was like, look, let all 12 teams compete at champs, then he was hitting the psych on the timeline back in June right now, when that was a big discussion that was going on. But I think the major discussion really was, like, look, if 8 teams are only going to be going to champs, at least give, like, 2 of those 8 teams a chance to actually make it, right? And that's been the big discussion in Valorant, and to be fair, like, the Riot Games have generally been quite receptive to stuff like this, so I wouldn't be surprised that even if this whole, like, Oceania, like, you know, travel type restrictions stuff didn't happen, and they were able to attend, the Riot actually made some sort of changes regardless to what the format was going to be like, and this, of course, was what Slasher said at the time. Everyone should be at champs, he says. Nobody should start in losers. This, I think, has really been the big discussion as of late between the pro players, that, I mean, yeah, starting in losers is just absolutely terrible. It happened during the majors as well. At the World Championship, I thought it was just an absolute disaster. Basically gave those 2 teams no chance of winning the entire thing anyway, which, you know, kind of ruined the point, I suppose, of even bringing them along at the start, I thought, at the very least. This is, as Slasher says right here back in June, like, there's no way teams starting, you know, with a massive bye, also teams starting in losers makes any sense at all, and of course it's difficult to do with 12 teams, to be honest, but I mean, with 8 teams, if they are going to make it an 8-team champs, it still can work. This season we do imagine we're still going to find ourselves at a 12-team situation, and I mean, this, for example, from Tom Ryan and Caesar Skies over at the Florida Mutineers, makes sense if there was not an even number of bracket teams. Definitely a weird decision to leave out 4 teams and then still start some teams and losers. I love one and done, says Skies, as well, certainly sarcastic as the OpTic guys are being there. Couple of things just to finish off. I did show this on screen right at the start of the video, but kind of forgot to go back to it. Elgato show match, says Hitch, coming up, well, tomorrow, that being today. $4,000, best of 11 on Black Ops 2. This is just absolutely beautiful. We've got the top team being Methods, Scump, Embos, and Crowder, that being Replay's former name way back in the day, versus John, Nameless, Saints, and Ricky. This is honestly really interesting, right? Like, Scump and Bo's already this incredibly entertaining team. Methods thrown in there as well. It doesn't get too much better than that. Crowder, of course, is going to be a great addition. On the other side, though, some Black Ops 2 veterans, right? Like, Nameless has certainly had some great moments in the Black Ops 2 season. Ricky as well, certainly an OG. John, well, he had so many highlights in that game, and Saint as well has been around for so many years. So I'm really looking forward to this one, to be honest. Who's going to come out on top, especially with all the other throwback tournaments that Hitch is working on behind the scenes right now. Definitely exciting to see this one seemingly just around the corner as well. And just to mention this as we finish off the video from the Zoo Mafia, but really just the Call of Duty players in general. Most watched Warzone streamers ever, and let me just bring this up on the screen for you guys to enjoy, of this month so far, September 2021, in its entirety. You've got, of course, some of the big dogs up here, and some of them, of course, don't play Warzone all the time. Tommy here, former pro player at 11, Scump's up here at 8, TP, of course, at 6. I think Merc's stream is actually massive. Like, I always kind of get surprised how big his stream is, and what they must be paying in the CDL to make him do, the casting stuff, right? Because I guess the revenue that he could argue that he's losing by not streaming for those hours. Maven in a similar breaks into the top 50. Zoomer's here at 28. Methods getting in on the act as well. Rated former pro player as well. So definitely, the competitive Call of Duty scene continues to kill it, even outside of, completely competitive related stuff. But very much intrigued to get your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Thank you to 1v1me for sponsoring today's video once again. Check out the link in the top line of the description. Gonna give you that first $1 wager completely for free. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube icon to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.